Hey everyone, welcome back to the Transfer Talks podcast. I'm Sasha Lynette, a transfer peer mentor here at NAU, and joining me today is one of our amazing transfer mentees, Aztec. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you, Sasha.
So today's episode is a special topics one. It's going to be all about stand-up comedy, conquering public speaking, and editing YouTube videos. 3 things our guest Aztec knows a lot about.
Mm-hmm.
So before we jump in, I'll hand it over to you to introduce yourself. If you want to just say like your pronouns, major, where you're from, and maybe like how long you've been at NAU for.
Okay, so my pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a physical education major here at Northern Arizona University. My hometown is Yuma, Arizona, probably about 4 or 5 hours from here. And this is my first academic year for here at NAU.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, okay, we're going to start with some rapid fire questions.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just like quickly go
Bring
down
it
the
on.
list.
Let's go.
Okay, I'm excited for these. First one, YouTube shorts or long form videos?
Ooh. This
hard one.
Yeah, it is a hard one. Wow. Because, like, each one has its own, like, pros and cons to it.
Yeah, but one's got to go.
One's got to go? Okay, honestly, so I'm picking the one to go or the one to stay with?
You'll pick the one to stay, but I was just saying one's
okay,
go.
Okay. The long form videos.
Okay.
Because that's how YouTube was originally at first.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, one-liners or storytelling?
I say storytelling.
Storytelling?
Awesome.
You're good at that. Okay, perform for strangers? Yeah, perform for strangers or perform for your friends?
Perform for strangers.
Really?
Yeah, because, I mean, at the open mic night, other than, like, the people who we were with, there was a lot of people who I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And if I just perform to my friends, like, oh, like, it's a good feeling, that means it's good. But if I perform in front of people who I never talked to, then it's like, okay, I got it, I'm nailing it. So yeah.
Also, I get that. Okay, nervous silence or a heckler from the front row?
Heckler, because you can make more content or more material with that. So.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Edit for 5 hours straight or perform at a packed open mic night with no prep?
Ooh. Well, I can relate to one of them, which is the YouTube one.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with the editing for 5 hours just because it's more experience in it.
Yeah.
And, like, if I have no prep, maybe there's be something, like, some good things I could say, but I'm more of a prepper than, like, winging it at times, depending what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, last one. Stand-up stage or classroom presentation? I know you do a lot of those.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'd say I had to go with the stand-up stage.
Stand-up stage,
yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, classroom presentations are overrated. Too much work to do.
Yeah, I feel like also the atmosphere at, like, an open mic night is a little more...
It's,
lively and a little...
It's like, you're, like, more of yourself compared to, like, the classroom presentation.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, so we're going to break it down into sections. So the first section is going to be all about your stand-up set that you did at open mic night. Shout out to Sound Entertainment.
Yep.
Happens every, second Wednesday of the month.
Oh.
And you did your first one a couple weeks
first
ago.
One, yep.
So, okay, you ready to jump into that
Let's get
one?
into that, yep.
Okay, first question. What was going through your head right before you got on stage?
Ooh, there was so much going through my head before I got on stage. Like, for example, Sasha was there. She sat right by me. I was like, hey, am I shaking? And then, like, I was just, like, uncontrollably shaking and all. And, like, even though I had a Red Bull to keep me up, I couldn't tell if it was the Red Bull or just, like,
nerves.
the nerves getting to me. But before going up, it was just, like, it was, like, a lot of, like, anxiety I had. Yeah, a lot of anxiety I had. Because, like, even if I didn't, like, do, like, the best or whatever, like, say in another world I do it, did it go out the way I wanted to?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, like, a lot of emotions because you don't know, like, like, if people maybe are sensitive to the jokes or they won't get the jokes, or even if it's nothing but the jokes, it's just you as an overall person, like, having that anxiety with you. And that was the one thing that just, like, was constantly going through my mind, like, oh, like, probably gonna mess up or something. And
you did great.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, but like going up though, it was a lot of fear because I haven't been on stage since like a long time ago, back in high school when I did like music or whatever. But it was a lot of anxiety. Public speaking, used to that. We'll get to that soon later on in this. But it was just a lot of anxiety that was going through that before I went on stage.
Were you still anxious during your set?
anxious. A couple minutes in, I was still
Yeah.
feeling that, but then after that, when I noticed like, oh, I had the palm in my, I mean, the crowd in my palm, in my hand, I felt pretty relief and just
Yeah.
went off script what I had.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, next question. How did it feel right after you finished? Were you riding on adrenaline or were you just relieved that it was over?
It was it was for sure both of those,
Yeah.
but also kind of like the main factor of how I felt after doing that is like, oh dang, like I actually like made them laugh and all,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like a great feeling for me. And even I could say that even in classroom, but doing it at open mic night, that was just a great feeling to know like, hey, I can actually like say jokes that people can laugh at an event like this. It let me know like they love your material. Like
Mm-hmm.
those are some pretty good jokes that you had, even if you practice in front of friends whatsoever or family. There were still pretty good jokes from what I was able to come up with from my past experiences
Yeah.
in my life and all. So I was really happy with the outcome of how throughout the 10 minutes that I had, that people were really just laughing, enjoying the set and all.
Awesome.
Yeah,
It looked like you had were having fun up
yeah,
there,
I
so I'm
was
glad.
having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, really fun.
Okay, next question. Would you ever do it again?
Yeah,
And if so, what would you do differently next time?
for sure I would do it again,
Yep.
but differently. Probably maybe. Mm, I can't really say because like going into it, I did prepare for it,
Mm.
but throughout, like you probably maybe noticed that there was a lot of jokes that kind of seemed like, oh, it was like just like straight came out like out of nowhere. Like I didn't plan that joke. Like it
Mm.
just came naturally and all. So for
Yeah.
sure, stick to well, not really stick to it, but kind of use it as like a guide from
Yeah.
it, and time. If I ever do it again, feature me. Buy a watch by then. Because I need
Yeah.
to, I
Yeah.
need a watch,
Yeah.
and then for sure, and I can say this about myself even outside of open mic night, like slow down at times, know your pace, know the next word you're gonna say, because that takes out that time. And me personally, it feels like it doesn't really like set the joke up, like set the punchline up.
Mm-hmm.
Because like a lot of those jokes were like some story. There was a lot of storytelling I
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
and um, trying to remember the story in order and not repeating information of it, that could lead things to be more smooth, run smoothly for my set.
Uh-huh.
So those are some things that I would do or take into account if I was to do this again, which
Yeah. Yeah.
most likely I will. Just
Yeah.
gotta come up with some new material and all. But
Yeah, absolutely. It's also like a different crowd
yeah,
every
different crowd.
month, so like you
Mm-hmm.
can reuse some of those.
Yeah,
But I think that's really good advice for just like general public speaking too. It's just like
indeed.
taking your
Yeah.
time. I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. I know I do. Like
Mm-hmm.
when
Yeah.
I'm public speaking, I like go 3 times as fast. Like I
No,
don't know why.
like
It's just the nerves, and it's just like want to get through
yeah,
it.
no, and we'll touch on that topic too. But like, even
Yeah,
me as a PE teacher and all, like,
yeah.
even if I was fine with like my pacing, my thing, my like being knowledgeable about this and that.
Mhm.
I do have like a stuttering problem, and that was something that like a barrier that pretty much like impacted heavily on my life in a negative way,
Mhm.
such as like being more socialized or being more outgoing, open whatsoever because of my stutter. But
Mhm.
but when I did open mic night and like when I do teaching for practicum, I was like, you know what, like forget like the stutter that I have, like this is like my time.
Yeah.
I gotta own it, like don't let the stutter hold me back and all. So
Yeah, that's awesome advice.
yeah.
And I would say a piece of advice for you is to believe in yourself because you were awesome. I
Yeah.
don't know, you have nothing to worry
Okay.
about. I mean, like you did great.
Yeah.
So and it was your first time too.
She's not being biased because she's my
Yeah.
friend. She's telling the truth. Just
Yeah.
want to say.
Yeah. Um okay, last question of this section.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's curious about trying open mic comedy but nervous,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say to them?
Honestly, so one, you're gonna be feeling that anxiety and nervous before you go on stage, regardless. Even if you're doing class presentations, like for example, you said
Yeah,
you felt like that, right?
absolutely.
That's always gonna happen. Anxiety, the nervousness in your body, maybe shaking when you're on stage or stuttering, lost in the sauce, whatever it is. It's always gonna happen, and don't let those factors affect what you could bring to the table. I'd say,
Hmm.
because even though I had the same factors, it still didn't stop me. I kept on going with it. You know, you were there,
Yeah.
and just write down like stories that you've had with your friends. I'd say, you know,
Mm.
if there's like something from a conversation that took place with a friend that ended up to something funny happening or being said, you know, write down the story bullet point by bullet point and then craft it into your own storytelling. And how I did with mine, like before I got to like the actual like punchline for it, I'd tell like little jokes to get them engaged and like interested, you know. It kind of seems like a little teaching strategy that I apply to it,
Yeah.
but um of course, be original, be yourself. Understand that you might get some laughs, you might not get some laughs. Something I had to deal with, but then quickly bounce back from it. Even if you don't, it's still fine if it's your first time. Be slow. Uh, Maybe have like a good transition to it, as in like telling from one joke to another joke, how I did at
Mm-hmm.
certain times. And just everything that I've said right now, I'd say apply that knowledge to you or that advice to yourself if you're trying to do open mic night and apply it to yourself and just see what could happen with it, I'd
Yeah,
say. So, yeah.
absolutely. Just like something I'm curious about, if you could rate your like, I don't know, experience overall at open mic night on a scale of like 1 to 10,
One
what
to
would you rate
10.
it?
Honestly, I never really rated myself about it.
Maybe not like your performance, just like your experience.
My
Like, did you have a good time?
my
Like, I
experience,
don't
yeah.
know. Like,
Oh, for sure, it was like a 8.
okay, that's
Even
pretty
if I
high.
wasn't like even if I oh my god,
You're good.
even if I wasn't on stage for my
Yeah.
set, it was still fun to go. You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
like the other comedian there, and then the bands that were there, the singing
Pretty
and all. You
awesome.
know, all the talent over there was amazing. It was
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I also think the atmosphere is pretty, like, um, I don't know, everyone is just super pumped that people are going up on stage
Mm-hmm.
and like doing their
Yeah.
thing, like, and very supportive.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they're
I
all
kind of like
supportive
that.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, next section. This is going to be about public speaking and kind of like conquering social anxiety, which is
Okay.
something that you've done very well.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of just had a lot of experience as a PE major.
Mm-hmm.
So first question. If, if you could give your younger self a public speaking cheat code, what would it be?
Ooh. It'd probably be the same advice I said when someone was trying open mic night.
Yeah,
Um, cheat code would be slow your roll, know your pace, um, be knowledgeable about things
for
because you
sure.
don't want to keep on saying
Yeah,
over and over. You know, like little filler words. You
yeah,
don't want to say that over and over because then it kind of like maybe someone will like view you differently because of that. You know,
mm,
I would know from how my professor rated me about that. But know your role, be knowledgeable, know your pace. If I was to talk to a little younger me, younger Aztec, hey, little Aztec, you're gonna have a stutter problem, but don't let it hold you back. Still do be you, man. You know, I tell him
yeah,
that. And then, other than that, make it engaging too,
for
engaging
sure.
and informative, depending what the
Yeah,
presentation's about. But engaging for sure.
yeah,
That
yeah,
could
yeah.
be that is really informative and engaging. That's really two big aspects when it comes to a presentation and doing public speaking.
Absolutely, that's really good. Do you do anything like right before, like, say you have to do a presentation for class? Do you have any tricks that like you use to like calm your nerves? Like, do you do any like deep breathing or anything like that, or do you just like full send it? Okay, I'm gonna go up there and start it.
I just full send it honestly, or like
Mm,
I'll just like if it's something like for example this past week, Tuesday we're at the Flagstaff High School
yeah,
teaching a health class and teaching about like how physical activity is important and all. For my slides for my lesson, before I went on and like before the actual class started, I was just like preparing and like studying the slides that I don't know the most about compared to the other ones.
mm-hmm,
But when it comes to like breathing techniques, I don't really do anything like that because
yeah,
I never really felt like that when it came to teaching at all.
yeah,
I just hope, I just hope and pray that it works out good.
yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
yeah,
and it has so far.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
good strategy. Okay, next question. Have you ever used comedy to deal with nerves or like social situations? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, yeah. That happens a lot in my classes. You know, like currently, like sometimes in my EPS class,
Yeah.
uh, professor will be like, okay, class, like now that you guys are done talking, what's something that you guys want to share to the class or something, you know? Or if it's like let's go with the announcements. Beginning of class we do announcements
Hmm.
and shows like what's going on or something. sometimes I will say like something serious going on here on campus, or sometimes I'll say like just something pretty dumb, just
Mm-hmm.
so like the class can get like that little discussion or engagement part of it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it always works. So I'm like,
Nice.
okay, then so that's nice. When it comes to presentations, I do try to throw some like comedy lines in there, or just make one up on the spot,
Yeah.
because like you can't. Of course, it wants to be professional and serious, but part of professionalism to me is that if there's like some comedy in it or something to where like students can like go from just like that blank dead look stare in class to like a little smirk smile or
Yeah.
something, then that's how you know you're doing the job right.
Absolutely. I think especially like in your kind of like line of work too, it's really you're dealing with kids, so it's
Yeah,
like really important not to just like I don't know,
just
be
like
boring
just like
and
blabber and like
yeah,
yeah, we want to make it engaging. How
for
I said
sure.
engaging is really important.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Um, okay, last question of this section. What's something that actually helps you calm down before speaking in public? We kind of touched on this, but
Kind of touched on it.
yeah, a little bit. Just like, is there anything you tell yourself
Well,
or
so since I'm used to like presentations and teaching, I don't do anything. But
yeah,
when
so
we,
just practice.
yeah, but at the open mic night before I got on, when I was just, you saw me shaking and
Yeah,
all, like I'll
yeah,
be back in this restroom again and all, and for sure the breathing helped. For
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
breathing helped, and something I found out about myself is that I have a little shark stress, the little shark stress ball,
yeah,
and I noticed that whenever it's like my turn to teach or present, I just squeeze the heck out of it like over and
yeah,
over,
yeah, yeah.
and it doesn't really like I don't notice a difference,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it's like an internal difference in me,
For sure.
So I just keep on squeezing it, and
Yeah,
then I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, let's just get this done, and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I kind of have the same thing. Like when I'm nervous or something, I like play with my rings on my hand. I just
yeah,
like need to like be fidgeting or something. It helps me
yeah,
kind of like focus on what
yeah,
I'm talking about instead of just like not knowing what to do with my hands. I'm
yeah.
just sitting there like,
It's like
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
for sure. So stress balls, great way.
stress balls are a good way. Yep.
Okay, last section. This is going to be about making YouTube videos. Before I actually ask you any of the questions, how long have you been like on YouTube
YouTube.
for? Yeah.
So, hmm. So I originally started probably back when I was like in seventh grade.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, seventh grade. I had this old channel, and there was like so many videos on there. Probably like not like the best videos, but like the best memories to me from playing gaming
Yeah.
online with my friends. You know, started from there, and then when I got to like probably I'd say like freshman sophomore year of high school or junior year of high school,
Mm-hmm.
I deleted that account because like I don't know. It's kind of like it was like oh I'm looking back on it, it's like cringy to me.
Mm.
As sad as it is, I'm like you know what, maybe it's good. Let this be lost media, of my life.
Aww.
Yeah, the evolution of me in those videos. But anyways,
Yeah.
and then when COVID hit,
Mm-hmm.
like in 2020, like that springtime, I was like, you know what? I have like more time, no class.
Yeah.
Let me get back into YouTube. Let me make YouTube videos. And then I went from there all the way to pretty much like my last actual video was like 2 years ago. It was a
Oh, okay.
gaming video, but before like my last video, it was like a huge gap because that's when like, I was working multiple jobs, college, just dealing with life and all. So it was a good run during high school though because I had the most time and
Okay.
like the most motivated or motivation interest for it.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, first question. What got you into editing? Was there a specific moment that sparked your interest or
Mm, so
anything?
since I talked back, since I reflected back on like the videos from like middle school to like junior year,
Mm-hmm.
all of those they weren't really like edited well. They were just kind of like a cut com, like maybe like 15, 20 seconds of me just talking, and then like after that it'll cut to a new clip, 15, 20 seconds talking. It's a cut commentary. It was just like playing a game or something. But then it wasn't until when I got into the senior year, so like the second run of YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
um that was probably like a really creative like of course there was YouTubers I would watch and all,
Yeah, yeah.
but they didn't really like motivate me to like edit like this or like
Mm-hmm.
run the channel like this because gaming I find gaming 100% my true love, my love interest. I love gaming, it helps me especially here in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I have gaming clips whatsoever. Let's see what I can make. And like, just like the first couple videos, or not first couple videos, like some videos I have on my channel currently that are still up right now,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like a lot of like creativity that I put into it.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what I like about it,
yeah.
you know?
That's
So
awesome.
that it's kind of like, I guess my own creativity, my own mind is my biggest influence behind it all. So,
Nice, awesome. Do you want to shout out your like? I'll let you shout out.
nah,
You don't
I
want to shout out
no,
your
let's
channel?
not. Nah,
Okay.
it's your. I mean, I don't really plan to make a comeback to it, but
Okay, you just do it like for fun.
yeah, it was more like for fun. I
Yeah,
mean, I know
yeah,
I'm not gonna blow up. If I did, then probably wouldn't be here.
yeah.
But yeah, I
Okay,
appreciate it though. But no, that channel is long gone.
okay. This question's funny. What's one edit you're super proud of, or like a cut, a transition, or
Transition.
like a little creative touch? Do you have like a kind of like a
Ooh,
signature or anything?
ooh. There's a couple good videos that
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, my last video, I'd say it was really good. It was a Fortnite funny moments video with my friends, and just like the
Nice.
editing with it, even though if it's like probably maybe basic to people, but keep in mind, like when I would do editing or like the second run would, well, first run was just like on the PS4, and then that was it.
Mhm.
Second run though, it was like what I would do is, so say this is like me in my chair right here, you know. Then I have another chair with a stack of games right here,
Mhm.
and I will have my old phone,
Mhm.
right there for like the face camera in the corner, and
Um.
then like the footage of the game through the PS4, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I upload it unlisted, download the videos, and then from there, just move it all into iMovie and like um what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Like having it on time,
Yeah.
like it matches with the
Yeah. Yeah.
cam, with the face cam and the
Mhm.
video, you know, the gameplay,
Like
and
sync it.
huh?
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
sync it.
there you go,
Yeah.
sync it. That
Yeah.
was the word I'm
Yeah.
looking for. Yeah,
I was searching too. I was like, what
yeah,
is that word?
yeah. So I would do that, and then like anything like that was like kind of like the boring parts, of,
Mhm.
like other than me talking or whatsoever. Like I just cut into like small clips, and it'd go for like, let's say, almost like hour of footage,
Dang.
just to like, after like trimming like the boring parts out and whatsoever,
Mhm.
it'd go down to probably maybe like, I'd say like 5 to 8 minutes.
Oh wow.
So it would like be a lot of trimming, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just depending on like what my imagination tells me,
Yeah.
like my creativity, like, oh, add this meme, add this edit, add this transaction. Probably
Yeah.
my favorite though is probably this one Minecraft video that I did. um Came out really good. I like the editing of it and all, so
Nice.
that was a good video. I'd say it was a really good video.
Awesome. I'm just curious about this. Do you have any like, I guess not anxiety is not the right word, but like I don't know, bad feelings about seeing yourself on camera? Because
Oh
I can relate. I mean,
yeah,
I edit
no,
these videos and I have to
I
listen to myself talking. I'm
I
like,
mean,
oh my
that's
god.
how I felt about myself when I watched our first podcast.
Yeah.
But at first it was like, oh, dude, it like does not sound like
Yeah, or
good,
like why
you
do I
know?
talk like
Like, why do
that?
I
Like,
talk like that,
yeah.
you know? Like, but then it's just something you just gotta like, just like accept,
Yeah.
because there's nothing else that you can't change
True.
about it unless you have like good equipment, like sound rooms
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
wall panels. But you just gotta accept it. You
That's
know, just
true.
you can't really change anything about it. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
change the tone to where like my voice is like
Yeah.
really like low pitch or a high
Yeah.
pitch, a deep voice. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just something you have to embrace and
Yeah.
accept.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just gotten used to it because I've done so many and
Yeah.
so I've had to edit, and I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I remember when I first started, I
Yeah.
was like, oh my
Like
god,
after the
I
first few
don't want
though,
to look at this.
after the first few, you're like, oh, I can't believe I sound like this. But then after
Yeah,
that, you're like, you're just used to it.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
just used to it.
It's just weird because you sound different than like you do when you're speaking,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in your
Oh
head or
no, in
like,
my maybe I'll share the channel with
yeah,
you. But you just look at the gaming videos of mine, like through senior year, you're like, dang, he sounds pretty different. And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
shot on an
I was just curious about
iPhone.
that. Okay, last question. How do you stay motivated when videos don't perform the way you hoped? I mean, I know you said you don't really do it for like views or
Yeah.
anything, but I don't know.
Sometimes I will care about views, to be
Yeah,
honest, or
yeah.
the likes. I'll be honest. Um.
So what motivates you to
So what?
keep going?
It's just keep going. Honestly,
Yeah,
like there's
keep
it's just
swimming.
yeah, it's just yeah, some Finding Nemo
Yeah.
type beat. Um. What is it? Even it's not like a lot of views or a lot of likes or anything like that. It's just at the time it was like something that like I enjoyed.
Yeah.
something that was like really into my interest, and something like, oh, like I spent a lot of time with it. Even if the video doesn't like do well in numbers, or like looking back on it, it's not like with the best or the right edits whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just something that I could be like, oh hey, I made this video by myself. I
Yeah.
trimmed it, recorded it, everything by myself, And even though I would get feedback from my cousin, or like from my friends who watch my videos and all, and they liked it, like they actually liked the videos with the editing and all.
Yeah.
They were really engaging into it. I'm like, wow, that's like
That's awesome.
kind of surprising, because like I know people would like they'll click the link, watch 2 minutes, and then call it call it a day, you know. But even if I don't do well, it's just at the time the passion and the motivation for it
Yeah.
that
For sure.
that kept me going,
Yeah.
regardless of how the likes turned out, the views,
Mm-hmm.
etc., and the good feedback that I would get, the
For
good
sure.
comments I would get.
Yeah. I think it's also cool that you get to like memorialize your like young self. You know, you can look back on it when you're older and be like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I was pretty cool. You know.
Yeah. Like I remember, like when we first started talking about the podcast and all, and I was like, oh, let me talk about YouTube. I was like, let me go down memory lane, and I was just like, not all of the videos, but like binge watching some of the
Yeah.
videos. Like, dang, dude, like it's crazy how this was like 4 or 5 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
It's only gonna get further
Yeah.
away too, which is crazy.
And if 2020 me blew up, I probably wouldn't be here at college.
Yeah, but aren't you glad
Yeah,
you're here?
yeah,
This
I'm
NAU is awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. Really, really awesome school.
Yeah, you never would have gone to open mic night.
Open mic night.
You know?
Transfer lounge.
True, transfer lounge. Met awesome people, transfer events.
Yep, indeed.
Just doing a
Shout out
bunch
to the
of
transfer
shout-outs.
lounge.
Yeah, just doing a bunch of shout outs. Okay, well that was it. Thanks so much, Aztec, for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I learned a lot. So
Yeah.
thank you
Sasha.
for that. Yeah.
Thank you for having me once again.
Yeah.
Felt pretty nice being back in here. Felt pretty
Anytime.
nice being back here.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to like say or shout out before I let you go?
Shout out Transfer Lounge. Shout out my mentor, Julie. Shout out Sasha. She's a really incredible person.
Thank you.
Shout out Sun Entertainment as well for the open mic night.
Yeah.
My mom, I guess. I don't know.
Your mom? Yeah. Love to your mom.
Love to my mom. Love to my mom.
Awesome.
Other than that, that's all I had to shout out, and that's about it for me. So yeah.
Sick. Well, thanks again. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your days.
Yeah.